Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Critters, where I live stream every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, unless otherwise notified when I have a guest, and I'm working on bringing guests on for you. So for those that may be new, welcome to Coffee with the Critters. My name is Laura Joseph, professional animal trainer and owner of the Animal Behavior Center. This is a weekly conversation for people who are fascinated by how animals think, how they learn, and how and why they behave the way they do. And for the past 20 years, I've focused my work on a variety of species, and it doesn't matter the species, it's all about behavior, how to understand it, interpret it, work with it, change it. And I help people understand how behavior works through training. Each week we explore the science of animal behavior training and enrichment through the lens of the science known as applied behavior analysis. Because when we know better, we do better. Welcome, everybody. I wanted to take a little more time to discuss the topic of labels and how labels don't solve behavior issues. And we are working on this in our memberships right now. Last week after Coffee with the Critters, I went straight into the Foundation's membership taking a really deep dive in on this. And we only got a quarter of the way through, but we received great feedback and we are working on it. We're working in our memberships right now on giving examples, putting them into observable and measurable behavior to start showing how we change those behaviors. So for those who may want to know more about the work that we do, you can find that on our website, theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. And you can also email me through our contact form on our website, or just simply emailing me at Lara, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. So if you have questions, screenshot that and shoot me an email. So I want to talk a little bit more about labels. And they're something we constantly hear in the field of animal behavior and training. Do we use them? Yes, to quickly communicate a message, but then we follow it up by what that behavior looks like, because when we know what the behavior looks like and why it's happening, we can start changing it. So labels are things such as aggressive, stubborn, spoiled. I laugh at that because I use that one often. Dominant, jealous, another one that's controversial and is the alpha male, which there is no such term. And dramatic, hormonal, unmotivated. We use these words all the time, and I understand why. They're quick, they're descriptive, like I said last week. They're adjectives. They quickly describe behavior, and sometimes we need to quickly describe behavior. They help us explain what we think is happening. And applied behavior analysis, good morning, is all about observable, measurable behavior, facts, and digging into understanding the function of behaviors. Here's the problem with labels. They do not tell us what the animal is actually doing. We are putting our assumptions, our guessing, and our thinking into that, and that's where it can become confusing, frustrating, and not accurate. And they definitely do not tell us what to do next. When we label an animal as aggressive, stubborn, spoiled, dominant, hormonal, dramatic, we often stop observing. And it goes into this vicious cycle of the animals just being aggressive. And Okay, well, what's happening to change this behavior? What function is this behavior serving for the animal? We think we've explained the behavior, but have really just named our interpretation of it, and interpretation is not enough. If I say things like, let's use the parrot or the dog, for example, the animal is aggressive. That does not tell me what the animal is actually doing, what it looks like, what happened right before the behavior, what did the person do before, during, after behavior, what happened immediately after. Did the behavior create distance? Did it gain access to something? Did it stop something from happening? Has this worked for the animal before? And if it has, that behavior is being reinforced. Um, a reinforcer is anything that happens after a behavior that causes the future rate of that behavior to maintain or increase. And we can unknowingly maintain and increase all kinds of undesired behaviors. It is serving a purpose for the animal. Good morning, everybody. I see a bunch of people jumping on here this morning. So I do have something for you at the end of this live stream as well, but I wanted to get back to labels. These are the questions that move us forward to tell us more useful information. So let me give you an example of the label as aggressive. Someone may say, my bird or my dog is aggressive, but what does that actually mean? And the reason I'm spending so much time on this is because, believe it or not, a lot of animals are being euthanized for their behaviors being labeled because they don't think anything can be done to change it. There's a lot more animals being euthanized than what you probably even realize for behaviors being labeled that can be changed, but people either don't know they can be changed, they don't know how to change it, or unfortunately, some that don't care. So ask questions, reach out. Because the animal is depending on you. And when we label these behaviors, it's not fair. So the animal that's being labeled as aggressive, what does it do? Does it tuck its ears back, slick its ears back, lick its lips, pin its eyes, lean away, move towards you, move away from you, show its teeth in a growl, open its beak, fly away, run away, scream when approached, barked when you appeared? Um, those are all very different behaviors, and they may have very different functions. Um, and we need to identify what those functions serve for the animal. A bite that makes a hand go away may be functioning different than um, a bark from or a scream from somebody coming into the room. Labels do not give us the information. The observable behavior does. I was working on this just this morning with somebody in the advanced membership. This is why I say if we cannot define the behavior, we cannot effectively change it. So I want to take a look at the comments because Chris Carter says totally. Vet said aggressive and basically set up how he might be euthanized over it without knowing more information than its snarled resource hoarding, resource guarding. Welcome, Chris. So yes, you guys give your input because I'm trying to figure out next week's Coffee with the Critters. I may have a Q&A on this. I don't know. I have to look at my schedule. I have to look at the outline because I have things set up for you because I want you thinking about this. It's how we effectively work with animals. So when you hear yourself saying, my animal is being stubborn, pause and ask yourself, What is the animal actually doing? What purpose does it serve for that animal? We need to find the purpose that it serves for that animal, because when we find what purpose it serves, now we can put a behavior modification plan in place. Um, we need to identify what the animal is actually doing, not what I think they are feeling, not what personality trait I am assigning to them, not what story I am telling myself. Such as a lot of things I hear are, "This animal was abused." I don't know what that means. I don't know. I just simply don't know what that means. But that is not what I want to hear from you. Because when you say things like, "This animal was abused," it puts these stipulations on the animal where you think it can't be changed, or creates crutches. Do not do that to the animal, because you are limiting what you think the animal's ability is. I need to know what I'm seeing. Is the animal moving away? Is it freezing, refusing to step forward, taking food and dropping it, avoiding a specific person, avoiding people, avoiding one or more people, a group of people, responding in one context but not another. Now we have something we can work with. And this past week, I have taken a lot of time to sit down and write an article. And it's a deep dive article, um, for you, for the viewers, for people who want to know better and understand better. So, if this topic is making you think about labels you've heard, used, or struggled with, I want you to read this article. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we read this article, and this time next week, we'll have a Q&A on it. Good morning, everybody. So if this topic is making you think about labels you have heard, used, struggled with, I want you to read this article. I'm going to post this link right now to this article. It's a link that will take you to the article. Read it. And if you have read it, I will know. I will not, and I will know if you haven't. And we'll address this next week. So go ahead, take a look at it. I may even ask you some questions about it through your responses. And labels may feel helpful because they give us a quick way to describe what we think is happening, but labels rarely tell us what to do next. If today's topic hits home with you, I want you to think about joining our foundation's membership. This is very beneficial. Several of you on here watching this are in the foundation's membership right now, and this is where we can start tackling, uh, understanding how to know and do better. So, here is what I want you to take away today. Labels may describe how behavior feels to us, but they do not explain why the behavior is happening. So last week, we did a deep dive in the understanding animal behavior in the foundation membership. We only got a quarter way through it. We're going to continue to work with it. It was a great live stream to get people thinking, because we need to know how to do better. And with that, I want to say thank you for joining this morning. I'll see you next week on Coffee with the Critters. All of you that are in the Foundation's membership, I will see you there. And let's get moving on knowing how to be and do better. because our animals depend on us.